Hi everybody, Ellen here. Today I come to you guys with another video, obviously, since you watched this. And today I'm kind of doing a request video from Jamie, because she wanted me to do this video, so, you know, I am. But today I'm going to do the On My Shelf tag, I believe it's called. I will link the creator down below. But this is pretty much that Jamie has given me a lot of different numbers, so she's giving me numbers for which bookshelf, which shelf, and which book to pull out on my shelves. And I'm going to tell you a little bit shortly about that book and when I got it and what I thought about it or whatever. But yeah, since I do have a third bookshelf that is out of frame, that is not going to be on this video because that will be very, you know, long time to just switch around, you know, the camera and stuff. So we're going to do it with just these two shelves I have right here. So the first number we have is for which bookshelf, which is number 1, which I'm going to say is this one. And then we have shelf number 5, which is down here, which you can't even see. And then we have book 12. So I'm going to go find that book. So the 12th book on my 5th shelf is Liftarens Guide till Galaxen by Douglas Adams. I got this one as either a Christmas present or a birthday present from my older brother. It was years and years and years ago, at least like 6 or 7. But yeah, it was a really long time ago. And this was pretty much the first sci-fi book I ever did read, and I thought it was a little bit too out there for me. But I would actually like to reread this at this point because I read so much more sci-fi, so I feel like I would like it better, but you know, maybe that's just me. We come to the second round, which is the second shelf, which is the second bookshelf, and she has the 8th shelf, and since there's only 5 on this one, we're going to go to 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're on this shelf, and we're going to take the third book. This one. So we have Super Charlie och Skurksistan by Camilla Läckberg by Melisari. I actually do have 2 copies of this one, but we're going to figure out which one this is. So this is the book I got from Bokmässan. I do have 2 signed editions of this one, but this is the one I got from Bokmässan, and it is signed by Melisari, who is the illustrator of this children's book, and we also have Camilla Läckberg, who is the author, and she also read a lot of different like police books, really. So this one I got in September. I had really fun being at Bokmässan, which is pretty much a big book convention, so, and I really did like this book as well, so, you know, it was a good book. Bookshelf 1, shelf 8, so then we're on this shelf, and we also have book 6. But we have 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray, which was definitely a cover buy, because look at that cover, the entire series is beautiful. But this was one of my first, like, time travel dimension kind of books I read. I really liked this one. Actually do think it deserved a higher rating than I did give it. I think I gave it 4 stars, but I believe it's more like 4.5. And this is definitely a series I want to continue on with. But this is really cool, and there's like some Russian history in it, made up parts as well, but it's a little bit Russian history, and I like history a lot. So this one's really cool, and I love the time, like the dimension, different dimension kind of thing, and I really do need to continue on with this series. And now we have the second bookshelf, and we have the 10th shelf, so if we count twice, we're down below, and book 19. I don't even know if I had that many books, so we will have to count it twice. So I had 12 books on that shelf so far, so I counted it twice. So I got to Foolish Hearts by Emma Mills, which is a book I got in my December Alcrate of last year. This was a contemporary author that I had not read anything from before. I absolutely fell in love with this book. After I read like half of it, I was already looking online what how many other books she had and what they may cost, and you know, wanting to buy them like right away, but I was on a bookbind ban, so I would have to wait a little bit. But I love this one so much, and this has definitely become one of my auto buy authors, so I'm really happy about getting this in my auto crate. And you know, it's signed, so I'm a double treble happy. We have shelf 1, and we have bookshelf 1, shelf 9, And we have the fifth book. We're gonna count it. And the fifth book on that shelf is Lola och pojken huset bredvid by Stephanie Perkins. And this is actually a review book I got from Modernista, which is the publisher. I had read Anna and the French Kiss, and I love that one. So as for this one from the Swedish publisher, loved it. Not as much as the first book, but I do find this book really cute and really funny, and I love the characters, and I definitely want to reread this one sometime soon. But I do really like this series, but I do think that the cover needs an upgrade, but you know, maybe that's just me. Then we are on bookshelf 2 and shelf 9, so we're right here. And book 21. That's a lot of counting, Jamie. What the hell? So the 21st book on that shelf was Witchwood by Tahereh Mafi. This is a book I looked forward to for a really long time. It was like one of my most anticipated releases last year, and that was because I loved Furthermore by Tahereh Mafi, although I had very mixed feelings about Shatter Me by her. But I had really great expectations on this one, just because this is a middle grade and Furthermore is like their companion books. But I was kind of disappointed by this one. It didn't really live up to my expectations. I really thought that I would like it more. I didn't really connect with the character Lele as much as I would have liked. But I mean, it is still a very gorgeous book. So I mean, I guess that's the reason why it's still on my shelf, because I'm not ready to let it go. And then we have bookshelf 1, shelf 4, and we have book 3. Revolt by Suzanne Collins. This is the third and final book in the Hunger Games trilogy, you know, Mockingjay as it's called in English. I only do have these in Swedish. I would love to have them in English, but this was one of the first YA series I finished. It was definitely my first dystopian book, and I love this series so incredibly much. I love the movies, especially the first one. I watched them like 15 times. But I do love this series so much, and I would love to reread them again, because I love Katniss and Team Peeta. But yeah, I definitely want to read this one because I love this series so much. And then we have bookshelf 2, shelf 7, and we have book 22. So once again, we're counting. Thank you for that, Jamie, because math we don't have enough of. So the 22nd book on that shelf was A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. If you've read my review of this book on my blog, then you know I have really mixed feelings about this book. I don't really remember what rating I gave. I think it's 3.5, and I feel like I want to lower it. Feyre was driving me freaking nuts, like seriously, like the most annoying character ever. Yes, she gets better in the later books, but still very freaking annoying, and a little bit, you know, she doesn't understand that her actions actually has consequences, which is, you know, like, are you 5? Or, like, you know, think about it. I hate Tamlin, and, you know, I thought the story was predictable and not very entertaining. But I did continue reading the series, and I do feel like book 2 is really good, and then goes downwards again with book 3. So I do have really big mixed feelings about this series, and I honestly have pretty much been thinking about whether or not I should unhaul this series. I haven't decided yet, but it's definitely been something I've been thinking about. But yeah, it's really disappointing overall. And now we have bookshelf 1, shelf 3, book 11. But the 11th book on that shelf was The Lion King by Sarah Shepard, and I had read quite a lot of the Pretty Little Liars series, and I realized that Sarah Shepard actually had another series called The Lion Game, and this was sort of also very mysterious. There's a death that they're trying to, you know, solve, but this one was so much better than Pretty Little Liars. I love this series so much, and I read the entire series. I think it's 6 books, and I do have them all. And there was definitely, I didn't really look up much. I only knew vaguely what it was about. I bought the first 2 books right away. I did not check the ratings or Goodreads or anything, which I always do. So it was definitely a risk when I did this. And when I was waiting on my order to come in, I was like, why did I order both of them at the same time? What if I change my mind? What if I hate it? But I absolutely love this series, and this is definitely one of the series that I'd like to reread because it's a really quick read. It's very, like, you don't know what's going to happen. It's very mysterious. There's awesome characters and a lot of character development, and I love this series so much. Now we'll come to the final round. Woo! So we have shelf 1, we have bookshelf 1, shelf 9. So we're going to be on this shelf once again, and we're going to take book 2, which is Fatta Eld by Suzanne Collins. So, you know, book 2 in the Hunger Games. I love this book a lot as well. And like I said, one of the first YA series I finished. I do want the, like, covers in English. I want to read them, but I haven't found any. They're kind of boring, the covers, like, all of them. And yes, these are not very beautiful either. I have to admit, it's a face on it. But I just want to read it so badly. So yeah, that was the on my shelf tag. I mean, the numbers was a little bit messed up, but hey, Jamie. But yeah, please let me know down in the comments what you if you have read any of these books I mentioned and what you thought about them, without spoiling, of course. And yeah, I hope you liked this video. And if you did, please don't forget to give me some thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel by clicking the little button down below. And yeah, I hope we see each other next time. Bye!